Midsummer Vintage Festival at Ashby Magna. That's from 9 o'clock onwards. See the steam engines, stationary engines, tractors, and military and commercial cars, as well as the working horses and various displays. That continues Saturday and Sunday. It's 107.9 Crossway Radio, your truly local radio station. Hey, nobody else tells you what we do. We're the only ones that really know what's going on in this area. Stay tuned for more information, regular updates throughout the day.
Give me a pound a lot. All that bathroom suite down there, it's in white. One a bit one, 2 in a row, done at £1.2 now. Selling at one, and it's your lucky day. 175. Oh, I like this. 266 now, we've got a mixer, and very good working order apparently. Give me 20. 20 bid, 2, 5, 8, 30, 5, 40, 45, 50, 5, 5, at £55, 60 now, you got 60, and 5, 70, 70 bid, 5, 80, 80, 5, 90, 90, at 90 bid, at 90 bid, 5 anywhere else, Andy 2, 92, 94, at £92 it's selling, 94, quick, 3 if it helps you, 93, no, at £92, 3 anywhere else, selling at 92 for the mixer 3. You sure? All done at £92, 3 anywhere else, done at 92. One more. Two good as this time. 2 on bid, 2, 3, 3 at £3 at 2 more Irish days at 3, 4 anywhere else, selling at £2, 3 now. 3, 3 on bid 3, 4 anywhere else, selling at 3, same buyer. 2 angles, 271, 2 angles, give me a pound for them. 1 a bid 1 a bid 1, 2 a bid 3. At £2 under the 2 angles go at 2, 3 anywhere else, 3 a bid. At 3 bid 4 a bid. At 4 a bid, 5 a bid 5 a bid 5, 6 anywhere else, done at a £5. £40 on your number, 162. 28, 30, 30 and 5, 35, 35, the trainer goes at £35, 40 now, selling at £35, all done. Keeping on selling the mag at £4, 5 anywhere else, 5 and bid, at 5 and bid, 5 and bid 5, 5 and bid 6 anywhere else, under the 5 up, £5. Bidding 2 and bid 2, 3 and bid 4, compressor there at 3, 4 anywhere else, cheap enough, goes at £3 for the compressor, 4 anywhere else, cheap enough, done at £3, 5 and bid the sheep, 6 anywhere else, done at 6, 7 and bid 8 a bid, the sheep goes at £8, 9 and bid, 10 a bid. 15, 14, bid better, bidding 5 and bid 5. Ten a bit 10, 12 a bit 14, 14, 16, 18. That nice seat there goes at £16, 18 anywhere else. That all? 8, 4, 2, 1 a bit 1 there goes at the 2, all in it. And 2 anywhere else. 4, 20 bit 2, 2, 4. At 22 there, 4, 4, 26, 28, 28, 30, 32.
winding that. Very up, well.
Oh. Oh.
Visited a small watermill in the county recently and found that there was a large shaft going through the wall of the watermill with a drive wheel on it, and this apparently was for the summer months when the water in the mill pound was too low and they couldn't get a flow through the water wheel. They would get a traction engine in and he would put the belt on and then he could drive the mill wheels, the grinding wheels, and they could continue to grind the corn even when the water was not sufficient to drive the water wheel. So wide variety of applications there for power from the flywheel of the agricultural engine. Earlier, sources of power from the engine for the use of work was by the winch, and no better example of a large winch assembly than on the engine that's going around there with a rear-mounted winch, again vertically mounted, although a lot of the winches on these larger engines were horizontally mounted under the boiler. The large capacity of those winch drums that you see allowed many hundreds of feet of wire rope to be deployed so that they could be used for cultivation on very large fields.
What started you into doing this?
Tractor around this course, pushing the trailer out. Come on, tractor drivers, let's have somebody do it. That's it, go across and shout at all tractor drivers to wake them up. This is tractor driving, this is playing games. This is how you come back with no shed. This is how it's done, nice and steady. Well, that's straight up to the drawbar. That's a good start anyway. I bet you can park an 8 car. There we are. No sledgehammers, no cruelty. Just drop the pin in place. Right, Lauren. Just shove that trailer around in between these corns and we'll be all happy. Right, other way, not you're coming this way, don't run away with it. Don't run away with it, you're supposed to be backing it up here. You widen course for ladies, or you just straightening things up? I mean, inequality, you're not supposed to do that, you know, it's politically incorrect. We're all equal nowadays. That's all they tell us. Well, this is how it's done with the Nuffield. Nice and steady, like that. Bit at a time. Here it comes. I think it's coming this way, I'm sure it is. Somebody's had sticks and watch if that tractor's moving. It is, yes, it's coming this way. Nice and steady. Patience. Patience. Oh, this is going to look very promising, is this? It's looking very promising. You keep coming back. Any pedestrians, rabbits are out it way, I'll shout. Come on, nice and steady. It's coming. Come on. Keep it coming. That's grand, that. Come on. I think that next cone's a bit out of line, it looks to me from here. The bloke here got the Chinese centre railings, is that fed up with proceedings? Look at this. We are getting to extremes now. This is how it's done, come on. I've heard the women's lip that this is getting ridiculous. Look at that. Right into place. Well, if a lady driver with a Nuffield can do this with one go, I'm sure there's a lot of tractor drivers that ought to be hanging their heads in shame out there. That is absolutely spot on. She's gone right up the middle, right round the corner. I don't know this fella's with camera, but he's that impressed he's going to take a picture of it. This will be in She magazine or something like that next week, at News at World, you know. First lady tractor driver shows them how it's done. Look at that. Oh, she's hit the end cone. She's actually got to the end. Well, I think that's fantastic. I can't give her a prize, but I think you should give her a round of applause at least. Good for you, Brenda. You've shown them how it's done. That was cracking. Right, come on, somebody else. We can't finish on this note, gentlemen. There has to be another tractor driver who can do this. We have a tractor that's not only unique to this rally, it's unique to Britain. Right, now then, this is how it's done with a row crop tractor, which must have the ultimate in manoeuvrability. It's fair to say that pushing these trailers is far, far easier than it is doing it backwards when you push them in front. And he's got spot-on manoeuvrability with this. This thing will, as you've just seen, it'll, you know, turn on the sixpence. Anybody still know what a sixpence is? How do you turn on a new penny? So that's very neat, is that? That's really how to do it. Look at that. This just shows how manoeuvrable these three-wheel tractors are. Every move the trailer makes, he can duplicate it and correct it. He's come straight up here without hesitation, and he's halfway round course. And he's going to come round that corner with great ease. He's smack in middle at cones. This is where your manoeuvrability really comes in. When you're doing road crop work, you can dodge between plants.
next to Nuffield, I think that's as good as we've seen and are likely to see. That tractor's got real manoeuvrability. Look at that. You can straighten the drawbar up as easy as pie. Come on, Hugh, just give it last push. You've only 10 foot, you'll be straight into the cone. Look at that, straight round. It's going to be right to the end. Another couple of foot, he'll touch the final cone. He's gone between it. He's getting better, is that? Look at that. Well, he's going full out. Look at that. That was very, very good, was that? There's a man there who knows his tractor and what it can do. I'm thinking he's got to back out now and pull the thing back out. So yeah, that's Swiss precision engineering. If that were a watch, it'd tell you at the right time. Well, from what he told me yesterday, there's as many cogs at back end here as probably make a Swiss watch. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Miranda, for showing us how it was done in first case.
Now we have the tip cart. And I presume that's best pulling it, is it? Yes. Excellent, good. This particular tip cart was originally built for a Mr. Maplethorpe of North Kime in Lincolnshire as part of a hermaphrodite in the 1920s. We shall be seeing the hermaphrodite operation a little later on in the afternoon at approximately 2:30. Hermaphrodite is really making a two-wheel tip cart like this into a four-wheel wagon for carrying hay and sheaves and that kind of thing. The tip cart like this was mostly used as a general purpose cart on farms, hauling hay, roots, muck into the fields in winter, and had to cope with muddy conditions and bad cart tracks. So hence the very, very high wheels. The shires that you see here, one pulling the tip cart, the two on Catherine's dray, and of course the Ben being led down by Jan. They're the largest of the British breeds of horse, and there are several colours which are quite acceptable: greys, chestnuts, blacks. However, other colours or mixture of colours is not really accepted. The characteristics of them are gentle, docile and kind and hard-working.
I agree with the tractors at this rally, and if you look at them carefully, you can virtually trace the history of internal combustion engines, gearboxes, hydraulic lifts, and all the other things that go to make up the modern tractor. First round the ring, number 2, is a Fortune wartime tractor with a Ransom's trailer plough. This plough has all the fittings on for match ploughing. You've got oat seat for a long mow buds and the bolts and the presses. When that's gone down the ferret, you've got a beautiful job. That's closely followed by number 4. We've got things in order today, things are looking up. Number 4, we can tell you who they are. Foxy 27N from David Epplewhite. And number 6, which is M Lane on a Davy Brown Selectomatic 770. Followed by a fellow that's giving me funny numbers. How many? 40. Oh, that's a big jump. Oh, I must have been getting ambitious there. Never mind, we've got a Fergie diesel in with complete with Fergie plough. And number 8's managed it as well. We've got the ET2. Is that extraterrestrial too, or is it just luck? B&B President, followed by a David Brown, driven by the chairman, who's brought his tatey spinner in case anybody's got a few spuds that they want knocking out. Followed by a Dexter with a lady driver. Number 14, Mrs. K. Selwyn. We'll see what K stands for. Might be Kate, Kathleen. Well, it's so much stranger, she's not going to tell us the one, it's a letter. Followed by a Case D, one of the D series. Followed by a very nice Massey Ferguson 35. I forgot from you, see whether this is the 3 or the 4 cylinder. Let's have a look. He's got the 4 cylinder. Hey, come on, he's got it to run as well. 4 cylinder. I think that fella's volunteered at some stage to do that tractor pushing. I seem to recognise the shackle that he tied himself to railings with. Now we have the fella that's giving me the thumbs up, number 16. Keep bidding. David Brown, this is one of the few tractors that run on nutty slack, but look at exhaust pipe. Never mind, it's running and it's running well. We're not too bit of smoke, it's just engines coming over. Look at that. Good for you, sir. Bit of good stuff coming out of there. Followed by a Fortune Major diesel. I think that's an odd number, but we're not to a tractor too. Followed by number 30, which is a Ferguson 35, paraffin, standard engine, gold. They're known as copper bottoms in South Africa, I've discovered. Followed by the most famous 35 of them all, with the 3-cylinder Perkins in it. That's the one which would start on a cold morning without being told to death. I could be a ring circus here if I could get like in the middle of the crack whip and put them through up to fire. Number 44 is a very nice Marshall Model M. It's even got brass hubcaps on it, look at that. I bet them sit up mantelpiece on a night. That's closely followed by what you can only describe as the original square wheels. Leaford rotor beds, fitted to a Fortune Major. Tell you a little bit more detail about all these when we get them parked up. Now, we've got a bit of a unique occasion because 2 Marshalls on Rally came from the same farm. The tractor I've missed out, because I'm not paying attention, is the Swiss Locomotive Works row crop tractor, followed by a John Deere Lance, a very late Lance after John Deere bought the factory, followed by a warmed up Fortune Major with a supercharged 6-cylinder in it. To give you some idea of the strength at the back end of these tractors, what they can push through. And today's star driver follows it, the lady with the no field, who put all the men to shame earlier on. I'm glad somebody can do the job. And a very nice Nuffield Universal. If these things get much tighter circles, they'll screw themselves into the middle of the ring with the fire extinguishers, not to worry. Another Fergie, paraffin. There's one of Fergie's ploughs with the extra bit on it. I think it's got a bit of a soft tyre at back. Or at least it's flat at bottom, turn it round. Well, then got what you might call the super conversion of the E27N, the P6, which was available as a factory fitted option, and the 4-wheel drive conversion, to which quite a few, but not a great number was no fitted. We then have the Dexter, Ford's answer to the Fergie 20. Fergie 20 men were taking things over and Ford didn't like it, wanted some competition with new parts. This is the one it bought. And it's got a very odd gadget at the back you don't see now. This is for picking sacks of corn up in field after combines, bag of combines. That saves your back. And I've been chucked 16-ton railway bags up, I could appreciate one of them. Of course, if you've got a right eye tail, you get one of these at the back. That's a real pickle, that will stack them as high as you want on a lorry. Turkey handling. Rusty but very original and very nice to see on the ring is a very early E27N, which still has the N-type air cleaner. It had one or two later editions, but that's a very early example of the agricultural. That's followed by a Marshall. Not in the usual green, but if you bent Marshall's arm hard enough, they would paint them any colour you wanted. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, you've got a big selection here, and we'll tell you a bit about them collectively. All tractors require an engine, and you've got the earliest form vertically of tractor engine here. You've got the Fortson Model N, which is descendant from the 1917F, which is about as plain as you can get. 4 cylinders, side valve, mag ignition, splash lubrication. You can then go a little further down the line and you find the case, which has overhead valves, pressure lubrication, a lot more up-to-date idea. If you go down, there's David Brown, which again, overhead valves, a modern type of petrol paraffin engine. Then you've got the history of the diesel engine. The Marshall, I've lost it from here, but it's somewhere in lineup. It's down there, DAY. Single cylinder, 1930s diesel engine. And the single cylinder diesel engine eventually proved to be a dead end, technically. It took some sort of fire, and then that was it. You have the Fortson Major with the 4-wheel drive, which is following it, which is the proprietary engine bought in by the manufacturers and fitted and sold as from new. This is the roll-all crossbar. This is the next step up. Mr. Rollo, like a lot of people post-war, thought there was a market for the small ride-on tractor to replace the tool that's gone in front. And he also thought that industries picking these should be scattered around, not big factories, but scattered around. And he had several small places in the Highlands of Scotland which make components that are assembled and into one tractor. He made quite a number of these, but eventually the idea wasn't entirely feasible. It was manufactured in the early 60s. There was talk of making them in Uganda and one or two other places, but again, what was a good idea in theory wasn't a good idea in practice. Now we've got the... Well, this is what tractors become, garden tractors become. Bristol set off to build a small row crop tractor on tracks, 3-wheeler. We then have another one, a rival to that you might say. It's the Trusty Steed, ride-on tractor. Again, this is like the Rollo, it's designed for the small farm, large garden, nurserymen and such like. These are again. This is another Trusty 2-wheeler. It's represents sort of halfway thing. You've got a ride-on seat behind, you've got a 2-wheel walk behind tractor with a car. For some jobs, like rolling, chain harrowing, bit of trailer towing, you needed this because it wasn't really feasible to walk behind. Again, this style of tractor still made it Far East. Back in China, the name I can't pronounce, that serves these out enormous numbers with a hopper-cooled diesel. So you've got in front of you the
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, we do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please recommend us to your friends. Thank you on behalf of the Active Club and the riders, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Now we've got a couple of the bigger vehicles. The Atkinson, I did a brief resume of their actual history. I believe these come from the Wall of Death, don't they? That one, excellent. You can see it's a later development of the haulage tractor for towing trailers when greater weights were allowed. This one could pull up to about 32 tons with the extra axle on. It also fitted with a sleeper cab where the driver, or when it became legal for the drivers to drive down the road and park up on a lay-by and go to sleep in the back of the cab. Drivers did that sometimes, but that was not very legal, and if Mr. Policeman came along, he could cause a lot of trouble for that. Nowadays, a modern road tractor of this description could, it's almost as luxurious as a motorhome inside, although being compact. There's kettle warmers, there's television plugs, heaters, even cooking equipment, all in the back of a lorry. But this is the first stage of the actual sleeper cab. Following on behind that, we have the AEC Matador. These were built for the military as recovery vehicles. Many of them were four-wheel drive tankers, gun tractors, all sorts of usage during World War II. After the World War II, many of them found their way into civilian service as wreckers, and a lot of bus companies had them, did their own coach work. This looks very as though it could have been originally owned by a bus company at one time. AEC, founded in 1912, they acquired other companies, Thornycroft being amongst them, and in 1962 they returned with they merged into Leyland Motors. Now onto the military vehicles. We have a couple of Land Rovers going around now, one being the lightweight one. The first one, owned by Robert Hyons, one of our stewards, is now elevated to military vehicles from tractors, which he's been showing here for. It's not elevated. His uncle said it's gone down in the world, rather than, that's not my words, that's your uncle's, mate. And following behind that, we have a special military Land Rover, the 101, designed specifically for the military, most uncomfortable for the driver. I believe, is this John Meredith's? I believe it is. Or is it not? No, it isn't. Sorry, I didn't mean to insult you like that. They were built really as for carrying 1 ton of goods or personnel or whatever in very, very bad conditions off-road. I see one vehicle that I failed to mention earlier. I saw he's now hiding behind there. He disappeared for me. That's a Leyland recovery vehicle. I mentioned the history of Leyland, but this particular one was designed specifically for military work as heavy gun tractors, I believe. And then after World War II, they became involved with as recovery vehicles. And also another vehicle I failed to mention, although in the Land Rovers I did see that they were they did do a fire engine body. Well, this is a very nice version. It's showing all its equipment there. Land Rover also did a forward control fire engine with a body by Carmichael, I believe. I'm not sure the coach-built fire equipment supplier in this case. But do go along and have a look at. I can see most of the equipment there. Were designed specifically for road repairs. The first roller was built by Thomas Aveling about 1870 and used in some places until the early 1970s. The roller being really the last form of steam-powered road engine to be used in commercial service. And in the 1960s, I can remember late 1960s, one in Staffordshire County Council being used then. I believe other vehicles other counties still retained them until they became too uneconomic to repair, and then the diesel roller came into existence. Right, we've got Mr. George Headland starting off the parade. Now, this one is an Aveling and Barford road roller. Right, first one round, George Headling driving A.W. Henton's 1947 Aveling Barford road roller. Annie. Hello, Annie. It's owned by a long-established steam company. Arthur Henton, his father George, and I believe George's father was also Arthur. They were engineers, or still are engineers. They run a local thrashing service, and their thrashing engines never left the district. They bought them from new, and there's several of them still retained in the family business. That's better. This is Elsa. Elsa has been around with the Midland Club and in the locality for many, many years. Now it's now owned by Stuart Tomlinson from Hinckley, and it was built in 1911. It's a Fowler agricultural engine of 7 nominal horsepower, but many of you might know this engine from way back. It was owned by a very local, well-known local steam enthusiast, Ted Sansom, for many, many years.
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Hello, Mr. Tomlinson, proud owner of your Elsa here. Now, Elsa was Stuart was trying to direct his driver to run into my caravan. Thank you, Richard. I'm not frightened by your driving now. I've had an awful many, a good many years of experience in your bad driving. I'm quite used to it now.
As a Pullman's wagon, because it is dual purpose. In other words, hermaphrodite means two sexes, a wagon and a cart. You can see the horse being led forward, and we now start to take the wagon to pieces. We have quite a few helpers. The vehicle is extremely heavy. At the moment they are removing the shaft, which obviously attached to the horse to pull any horse-drawn vehicle. This is a single set of shafts, so one horse, although the vehicle could have been pulled in the past by two horses, one in front of the other. We've nearly fully restored it. The bed that they are removing now, carry the hay, has been fully restored. All four wheels, taking a lot of time and effort, have also been fully refellied, and that's the bit that goes inside the iron tyre. I'll just take you over to the horse Ben, who's standing there very quietly. Ben is a 7-year-old, he's 17 3 hands, he's a show horse. Ben belongs to the International Protection League for Horses, and last year they helped ask Simon and myself to take him on and see what we could do with him. So far he's proved excellent in all gears. That means he ploughs, he pairs up with our other Blackshire horse Sultan, he chain harrows the field, he pulls a cart on his own. He's getting a jack of all trades. Right, the cart is nearly converted. They are just about to remove the front wheels. You can now see why it's a long and arduous task. Once the wheels are removed, we'll put the shafts back on and put the horse in the cart to demonstrate the vehicle going round. As I say, this would have been used as a muck cart. The whole turnout with the wagon and this particular horse was shown last year extensively. Great Dorset Steam Fair, we did the same demonstration. We've been asked to demonstrate this vehicle and taking it down to a cart across the country, mainly because you will not see this vehicle in this particular condition. It's also been shown at Severn Valley Railway last weekend, where we had horsemen working all up and down the railway lines from Kidderminster to Bridgnorth. And that was a very enjoyable weekend for the horsemen as well. Quite relaxing. We were just showing people how the vehicles would take the goods off the railways. Right, we're now putting the cart to the horse. Then Simon and the rest of the helpers are doing a final check to make sure the horse is hitched in properly and he will be led off. Now the hermaphrodite is a led vehicle. The carter would always lead the horse either from the side or from in front, or a second horse would come into play. As you can see, standing on top of that bridle, excuse me, standing on top of that body of the wagon would not be very safe.